In this first part of the video series with Dr. Anju Malhotra, Dr. Malhotra will discuss some of the rates and trends in child marriage over the past 2 decades, as well as what the data shows on global distribution and future prospects of child marriage. In subsequent parts, Dr. Malhotra will share her findings from her recent scoping review of the literature and shed some important insight on how to move forward in the most effective way. Dr. Anju Malhotra is from the UN University, where she is a principal visiting fellow. She has been studying gender equity for many years, focusing on women and girls' sexual reproductive rights, as well as child marriage and empowerment of adolescent girls. Dr. Malhotra comes to us with a great deal of experience advancing gender equity, and is a key player in shaping the global program to end child marriage at UNICEF. She has advised for Girls Not Brides and convened researchers, practitioners, and policymakers all over the globe to look at the evidence base and shape the agenda going forward on child marriage.
If you look at, the evidence that's been published over the years, you look at this 2001 report, you can see it's still not even called child marriage, it's called early marriage. In 2003, my colleagues and I at ICRW did the first sort of reframing of the issue under the title Too Young to Wed, sort of a analysis of what it means to be married as a child. And still in 2005, it was still called early marriage. And if you look at the first report in which it's called child marriage, that was in 2006, when in about 2005, we started coining that word, and many of us started pushing it out as child marriage because we wanted people to understand it wasn't just talking about early marriage. We're talking about these are basically children, even if they're 17 or 16 getting married. Then in 2011, my colleagues and I published the Solutions to End Child Marriage paper, which actually framed some of the interventions you could undertake to end child marriage. And now we're looking at global reports and summaries coming out all the time and producing so much evidence on child marriage. In particular, we're getting more data. We, that UNICEF in 2018 looked at published a trend report, which actually showed that child marriage rates are declining, which is a very encouraging sign. And many of us need to really think about what that means. They've gone down from, over 27% of girls getting married to 21% of girls get married. Not very many global indicators see that kind of a decline in 10, 15, 20-year periods. So we need to see how we go on the trajectory of a faster decline than we currently have. Similarly, if we look at the numbers, we used to talk about 700 million girls estimated as child brides. Now we talk about 650 million girls estimated as child brides. We look at the burden in South Asia versus Sub-Saharan Africa, which are the two regions with the highest rates of child marriage. And even though the rates are higher in Sub-Saharan Africa, the largest number of child brides are still in South Asia. But we know that the rates in South Asia are declining faster, and the population sizes in Sub-Saharan Africa are growing faster. So within a decade or so, you're going to see a shift in the burden on child marriage. And what does that mean? And most importantly, and I think what's most scary is that on the one hand, we can celebrate the fact that there were 18 million more child marriages prevented in the last decade because of the accelerated progress we have made than before. We are not anywhere close to, if you look at the right side of the slide, we need to increase the rate of decline by multiple times 10 to 12% times more than what we have been able to accomplish so far. And it's not clear that, in fact, we know that in the next 10 years, we're not going to meet the target that we have set for ourselves.